The Paea versus the Hoku. Two amazing KIALOA paddles, but which one's right for you? Let's dig into it. What's up everybody, Buddy Kaika here, and today we're talking about two of KIALOA's top selling hybrid outrigger paddles, the Paea and the Hoku. Both these paddles are really high performance paddles. They work in all kinds of conditions, but there are a couple key differences between the two that you should know before investing in them. So before we get into it, you should know there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all paddle. Every paddler has his or her own sets of needs. So it's important to ask yourself, what are your goals? What kind of a paddler are you? What kind of a stroke do you have? What conditions do you usually paddle in? These are all things you need to take into consideration as you start looking for a paddle that's best for you. All right, so let's first talk about the Hoku. I've had the Hoku for about 5 years now. I've taken it into almost every kind of conditions out there, both in OC1 and OC6. And this thing just performs so well every single time. I love this paddle. For you left-brained people out there, it's 115 square inches. It's 18 inches long, 9.5, 9 3/8 wide, and then it has a 16-degree bend to it. And what that means, it has this really fluid catch, and it's just easy on the body. I can't tell you how, after like Molokai or like these really long races, this paddle in the last half just feels so great. All right, now let's talk about the Paea. Dave Chun started testing this out in 2017 with Lanikai Canoe Club, specifically for Molokai Hoi. And then after it was released, it became widely popular with the crews that have adopted that slower, stronger stroke rate. That's the kind of style that I paddle like, and I love this paddle for that. Both in OC6 and downwind OC1, anything you need a lot of power and you need to accelerate fast, this blade really has that potential. And surprisingly, it's not that much bigger than the Hoku. It's 5 square inches more. It's a 1/2 inch longer and an 1/8 wider, and that's it. So why do they feel so different? Well, let's check it out. Whenever I look at paddles, the first thing I look at is the outline of the bottom of the blade. The rounder the outline, the easier the catch is going to be. And the more boxy it is, the more it has a corner to it, the stronger the catch is going to be, the more bite it has. So you can see the Hoku right here compared to the Paea. Much more of a teardrop outline. The Paea has these little corners here, and that's that bite that you feel in the Paea that you don't get in the Hoku. The other big design difference between these two paddles is the volume in the middle of the blade. So if you check out the Hoku, you can see it has a really distinct ridge, and on both sides of the ridge, it tapers off to about 1/4 inch wide. And what that does is it gives the blade a lot of flex in the water. So throughout your full pull, the blade will flex a little bit. And so you lose a little bit of energy transfer, but it feels much easier on the body compared to the Paea. And then if you look here, you see there's not really any ridge in this blade. And that's because there's a lot more volume in the top half of the paddle. And so what that does is it gives it 0 flex. So when you put the blade in, 100% of that energy is going through, and it's gonna feel a lot stiffer because of that. The other nice thing too about all this volume up here is that when you come out at your exit, it almost pops out because of just that extra buoyancy in it. And it really helps, especially over a long race when you get tired and you get kind of sloppy in the back. Having that extra volume just to kind of keep you honest is really nice. All right, so to wrap things up, I mean, both these blades are amazing. You can't really go wrong with either of them. But if I was to recommend the Hoku, I would recommend the Hoku to the type of paddler with a higher stroke rate or the crew with the higher stroke rate. If you're training for a race over 4 hours, if you're coming off an injury, this paddle is just so easy on the body and works well in so many conditions that that's why I would highly recommend this one for them. If you're the kind of paddler that just loves that catch and that strong, stiff feel in a blade, this is for you. I mean, engine room guys, especially the people who are doing that long, strong type of paddling, this blade was built for you. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys got any other questions about either of these paddles or any of the paddles that KIALOA makes, feel free to give us a buzz or email us at customerservice@kialoa.com. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys want to see any other videos too, feel free to comment or let us know, and we'd be more than happy to make more comparison videos to help you guys figure out what paddle is right for you. Aloha.